how I know we went to the moon.
Yeah, I said that's just a compilation of opinions.
It is not. It's a compilation of evidence.
No, there is no evidence that we went to the moon. There's just ideas and
Jesus
suggestions.
Christ, Kimo.
So, Moy, that's how we know that we've been lied
It's a
to.
thing to say, Kimo.
What?
In Houston alone, we have the some of the rockets. We have all of the rocks that came from the moon. We have lots of evidence that we went to the moon, whether you believe it or not. The evidence is there.
That's not evidence, Kosho. The moon is not a rock. That's false information.
Evidence, Kimo.
Yeah, that's
Also
false information, that is. Another lie, Moyak. You see, they tell you the moon is a rock.
That was a claim that you just made. You said it's not rock.
Yeah, we can see it's a light.
Do not see anything of the sort. I see something that is evidently physical, material, has dents, dings, bumps, and rocks on it that you can see from here.
No. You can see through the moon, Moyak, at the daytime.
Actually,
Yeah, daytime you can see through the moon. So you can't land on that transparent light.
So you believe that bullshit as well? You suck that cum down your throat as well, huh?
But you can see the moon in the daytime.
You can't see through it though.
Of course you can. Transparent.
It is not transparent.
That's why those dark patches look blue in the day and black at night. Because you can see through it.
That's because the sky is blue, you dumb prick.
And the sky is black at night also. Duh.
Actually, it's not. If you take a long-term exposure of the sky at night, it turns a wonderful blue.
So that's the point.
So you see...
What?
Are you saying the moon looks blue at night?
Oh
I don't know.
my
That'd
god.
probably be so overwashed it would be fun.
What is wrong with this dude? No, I'm not saying the moon is blue at night.
What the fuck are you saying then?
In the daytime, those dark patches are blue in the day, and then the night, those dark patches are black because of the night. And they're blue because of the day.
Yeah, what is this? This proves nothing. Proves
It's
nothing.
just a transparent light.
So you're saying that moon changes color? Kimo?
It's not
if
the
I
moon.
put a white ball,
the sky
put a ball
changes colour, and
if I
we
put
can
a ball
see the
underwater,
sky
Kimo,
through the moon.
If I put a ball behind my fish tank that's green because of all the grime growing in it,
Put a ball behind.
the ball looks green. The ball looks green doesn't mean the ball's in the fish tank, does it? It means it's behind the fish tank.
What are you babbling on about?
I'm telling you that the sky can make the moon change colour, but doesn't mean that doesn't mean the moon is inside the dome.
I thought the moon was in space.
It is.
So how do you see blue behind it and through it?
You don't see blue behind it. You see blue in front of it.
Through it, behind it.
You don't see it. How can you see? How can you tell what's behind it?
I took this at about 10 o'clock.
Are you that silly? The blue.
Damn,
you can
that's a
see
nice
the
shot, man.
blue, darker areas. That's the sky.
My Samsung.
Kimo, you
What
must smoke
happens-
some good shit today, man. You sound pretty tired.
He's a child. He's got the
Kimo,
mind
what
of a
happens?
child.
What happens when you take a high altitude balloon in the daytime, high, and you don't see the blue anymore? Where did it go?
Show me that. Let's have a look.
This transparent
You can take the make.
There we go. Look.
Video.
Bazaar.
Yeah, you can take the Mage 2 video. You can see that the sky is black when you go high enough.
Where's the moon there?
What happened
You're
to the
looking
blue?
through something.
And what
Don't say
happened to the blue,
Colgate.
Kimo?
Oh, Emirates, Jake. Emirates. I thought it said Colgate.
You can see the blue going through the wings and the body of the airplane.
Where?
Yeah, airplanes are transparent and not physical.
It's really white, but here it's kind of bluish. If you sample the color, you'll see that plane has a blue hue to it.
Not the
because you
same
can
colour
see
blue as the sky, though.
Neither's the moon the same colour
Yes,
blue as
it
the
is.
sky.
Look at those dark patches, the same blue as
Fucking
the
hell.
sky.
Are you
They are
blind
not.
or something?
Not blind, no.
Are airplanes physical, Kimo?
Oh, here
Or
we
light
go.
sources?
Here we go. What do you mean by physical? What's physical?
Something that you can see and touch.
Something
Like
you can
Olivia
see and
Newton-John
touch.
said.
Yeah, he hates because I'm asking for his definitions because he uses different
Well,
definitions.
what's your
than anyone
definition
else.
for touch?
Oh, we don't know what touch is now.
Well, what does he mean by
Yeah,
touch?
Kimo doesn't
So
know anything.
why do you need to make everything so complicated, Kimo? Just
He has to. Because he
You can keep
uses
conversation
examples.
going on and infinitely
Well, just
long.
ask him,
Yes,
Mole
with
Man, for his
questions.
definition of the word touch. What does he mean by that?
Physically touch. Put your finger on something.
Because you think you can touch the
Now,
horizon,
now
right?
you gonna answer the question?
Yeah, because he thinks he can touch the horizon. Does he mean physical like the horizon?
Oh.
You can
Oh
touch the
my
horizon.
fucking god.
Quote me where I said that I can touch the horizon.
You said the horizon's physical.
Give the timestamp.
Is the
where
horizon
I
not
said that
physical
you can
then,
touch
or
the
not?
horizon. It is physical.
So I can touch the horizon.
You can't touch all.
But you just
physical
said it
things
means
because
touch.
they're out of your
You
reach.
see? That's why we have to make sure
What
Mole Man
did
knows
I-
what he's
what
talking about.
did I
First
say,
of all, you
Kimo?
said it's physical. I
Kimo.
said, what's the definition of physical? He said you can touch it. So I said, what, the
that's
horizon? No, you
not what
can't
I
touch that.
That's not what I said.
You can't
That's
touch the
not what I said.
horizon now
He
then.
didn't say that, Kimo.
Oh, you can touch
He
the
didn't
horizon.
say that, Kimo.
You can touch the
Yeah.
He
horizon.
didn't say that, Kimo.
Alright, so can you touch the horizon?
No, because it's
You
always
can't touch the
away from
horizon.
you.
Is the horizon physical?
Yeah.
Yes, you can
The
you can
horizon
touch
is
the
physical.
location.
The horizon is physical,
You
but
can-
I can't touch it.
I can touch
Yeah,
your horizon.
Just like clouds are physical, but you can't touch them if you can't travel to them.
You can't touch the clouds, why?
Yeah, can you touch the house that's 100 meters from you?
Touch the house?
Yeah.
If I go over to it.
It's 100
Regardless-
meters away from you.
If I
can you
go
touch
over
it?
to it, yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, but you can't
Yeah, but
go over to it.
I can.
Regardless, not everything that's physical you can touch it.
Like
They're
what?
not synonymous.
Like what?
Like light. Like
Light is physical.
Light is physical.
yeah, light,
you
light
can
is
stop
physical.
light with
You can't touch it. Yes. Heat, all sorts of things that
Yep.
are energy. There's things
Well-
that are physical that you can't touch.
Well, is light a wave or a
You
particle?
can,
then?
but you might end up with a nasty result.
Is it a wave or a particle, light?
Oh my
Oh,
fucking god.
Jesus Christ.
The
Well,
answer is yes.
what is it? A light?
Listen, guys,
Is it a
Kimo-
wave?
Yes, Kimo, yes.
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 Yes, the answer is
Kimo
yes.
is a little.
Uh-huh, you
Kimo's a
see?
little high right now. He's gonna say all sorts of random
Yeah.
stuff. You don't have to respond to every question that he
Just say yes.
Right,
framed
Kosher,
back with questions.
you've been warned about that stuff. Okay? I don't want to have to
I
take
spoke
any
with yesterday,
action.
but I don't know.
All
I
right.
spoke about a week, man.
Don't want to take any action. Okay, we've had our little warnings of the day about that kind of talk. Okay, now he wasn't
I
here,
don't know
haven't
what
been
you're
here for
warning me
a few
about, buddy,
days.
but I'm
Kimo,
giving you a warning
define
right now.
talk, please.
Don't warn me again, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, any more talk like that, we're going to have to take action. Alright?
Go ahead, take out.
I know you've been away, but
So, Kimo,
I'm
how
gonna
are
go
you
ahead
doing
and
on
take- go ahead
flat
and
Earth
take- go ahead and
evidence?
take
Do you have
action right now,
anything?
Kimo?
what?
Kimo, do you have any evidence for a flat Earth?
Flat Earth doesn't require evidence. Flat Earth is self-evident, meaning that you look at it, you see it's
That's
flat.
not how it works,
That
Kimo.
is exactly how it works.
Kimo, what are you looking? Are you looking at the horizon that you said is non-physical and can't tell you any information about geometry or
What, is
physicality?
it physical then?
You said that it's not physical, so
I
where's
said
your
I don't
flat
know,
Earth
I'm
evidence?
asking you, is it physical like the
Okay,
horizon?
so you
You
have
said
no
yes,
evidence
but I
for
can't
flat
touch
Earth?
the horizon.
So you have no evidence for flat Earth then?
When have you ever seen something physical you can't touch?
Light.
What, we can't touch light?
Energy.
How do you know it's physical then?
Yeah,
How do you know it's physical?
because you can stop it.
My
You
god.
can what, sorry?
You can stop it. It interacts
Stop it with
a
what? How do you
physical
stop
object.
it if you can't touch it?
Put a fucking wall between you and the light source. You can't see the light anymore.
So you can touch light.
Fucking retard. No, you don't touch it.
So if I stop
Self-
light with my
do-
hand, I'm not touching
Is there
it.
anything that's self-evident that doesn't have evidence?
Hold on, if
Yeah,
a light beam
that's
hits
what I
my
want to
hand, am I not touching that light?
Can you grab it?
Is it?
Move it 5 meters
Am
to
I
the left,
touching it
please.
though?
Are you?
I don't know. I'm asking you. If it hits my hand, a beam of light, am I not touching it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's strong enough intensity, I can feel it.
Well, Moit can feel it now, Mole Man. So you still think we can't touch it?
just a dumb semantic
fucking
game,
stupid.
Kimo, and it's
Hey,
boring as
Marman.
fuck. Dumb semantic game.
Hey,
Yeah,
Marman.
Kimo, you
Fucking stupid.
Kimo,
Failed again,
you
didn't you,
want to
Marman?
present
Eh?
your
You little
evidence,
game.
please.
Not so
Move on.
smart today, are you? Hmm?
Kimo,
Kimo, what's a
you
self-evident?
don't have.
Are you gonna let
You
anyone
don't have
else
any
talk now,
evidence for
Marman? You
flat Earth.
fail. You're gonna keep going until you try and win.
No, Kimo, you failed. You said you have evidence for flat Earth because the horizon
I
is
just
flat.
told you
but
there's
the
no
horizon
evidence.
you
It's
say is not
self-evident.
physical.
Okay, hold on,
Okay,
stop.
Kimo,
See, you
how is
won't
it
let anyone else go
self-evident?
now because he's
Tell us.
lost the argument again.
Come on, stop.
When did I
Kimo,
lost an argument?
is there
Oh,
anything that's
poor
self-evident
Marman.
that does not have evidence?
No. We're looking for things that are physical, but we can't touch them.
But is there anything that's self-evident that does not have evidence? I'm not sure if it's even possible.
I don't know, but the Earth is self-evident. Doesn't require
Okay,
any
so
evidence to
evident.
support it
Where is the
whatsoever.
evident? Where is the evident part of self in flat Earth?
You see it.
Wait.
You observe it.
Aren't all things
Just
all
like
things that are self-evident?
you don't need
Using one
evidence,
of our
Moya, that the
worst
sky is
senses.
blue and grass is green. You understand?
You do need evidence for that.
Kimo,
You see that it's blue or that
our
grass is green. You
eyes
see
are
it.
trash. You
You
know
see,
that
Moya,
our
you can
senses
see
are
that the
not
sky is blue.
good.
You can see that
And
grass
you
is
use
green.
these senses
You
which
don't
are
need
trash
any
as
evidence to support that the sky is blue, right? If someone says it's not blue to
You need your
you
observation.
would say, well,
Kimo.
give me the evidence
You
that the
still
sky
need
is
the
not blue and grass is
observation,
not
Kimo.
green, right? Just like
You
the
need
Earth
the
being flat.
observation, Kimo.
Not question.
Kimo, you need the
Marman, you
observation.
lost the argument already.
No, you had no
Guys,
argument.
You tried to challenge me
including
with your
Kimo.
little
Kimo,
game.
present us some
Hold on,
scientifically
hold on.
valid
The other guy coming in.
evidence.
Hold on.
Not
Marman won't let
Guys,
anyone else speak.
we all have to go one at a time, and because everyone's interrupting and
Well,
talking over other
again, when
people,
Marman
including Kimo.
loses, he can't handle it,
You're doing
Kosho.
it now, Kimo. You're doing it now, Kimo. So in order for everybody to be able
Kosho,
to
this is
get
not
in,
You're
it makes
derailing now. You're
Kimo,
derailing.
cut it
You're
out.
derailing.
In order for people,
You're derailing,
in order for everyone to
Kosho.
get in and make their
Kimo,
point,
shut
Kimo,
up.
cut it out.
You're derailing
Shut
now.
up for a second, Kimo. Everyone just take turns, including you, Kimo. Set a good
Kosho,
example.
you're derailing the conversation. It was just quiet. Now we're talking about flat Earth evidence, which I'm explaining, doesn't require evidence. Moik is saying, is there anything else that doesn't require evidence that is self-evident? And I'm like, yes, the sky being blue and the grass being green. Okay? It's
It is
obvious.
evidence that the sky is blue.
Ugh.
So show me the evidence of the thing.
You don't need evidence, it's self-evident.
I want to see that
how
because I
is
don't.
it self-evident?
You don't see the sky being blue? Well, let me take you to a doctor. Tell your doctor the sky is not blue and see what happens to you.
The sky is sometimes grey.
Colorblind.
Well, there you go. He'll prescribe you with something then, right? He'll diagnose you, with something if you can't see that the sky is blue.
Sometimes it's red. Sometimes it's grey.
Sometimes, yeah.
Actually, I have a picture of a red sky from the bushfires that happened a couple of years ago. Give me a sec.
Sometimes.
More debunked.
So you want to actually get evidence what colour the sky is. You wouldn't just. It's not self-evident that it's blue.
Well,
So
my sky is blue.
You're fucked. You're fucked. No, sometimes it's grey. So it's not self-evident that it's blue.
When have you seen a grey sky?
When it's
I've got
very
a grey
cloudy.
sky at the moment. Yeah,
Let's
it's
have a look then.
raining here
Show
at my
me.
place at the moment. That's
Let's
a
have a
grey
look.
sky. We also
Take a
had a red
picture.
one a few years back.
Take a picture of your sky. Let's see it's not blue.
Well, it's dark at the
Kimo, I
moment.
was
You're only
told
going to
to-
see like black. You want a black picture? I can do
No,
that.
you've got the moon for the light, so just take a picture of where the moon is and see what colour
No,
the sky
because
is
it's
around
cloudy,
it.
Kimo. Did you not hear me say it's been raining?
Yeah.
Kimo, is the sky blue in the night?
Is the sky blue?
In the nighttime?
No.
Yeah, another
Okay, so
example
the
where
sky isn't blue.
it's not self-evidently blue.
At night?
Kimo, one question. If you
Can't
go
see
to the
anything
Royal
at night
Society,
time.
England, Kimo, if you go to the Royal Society and say the Earth is not round because it's self-evident that it's not round, will they accept it?
No, it's self-evident that it's flat.
I said
Which
that
is
it's
not
not
round.
a globe, or yeah.
What do you mean not
I'm
round?
not disagreeing with you.
What do you mean not
Not round means it can be anything else than round, so I'm not disagreeing with you saying it's flat.
That looks
There you
blue.
go.
If you
Mike.
go to the Royal Society and say it's flat because it's self-evident without providing anything, just saying it is flat, self-evident, will they accept it?
If you say to who that it's self-evident that it's flat. If they don't
The
accept
Royal
it,
Society.
They must have made a lot of Mars footage during that dust storm.
So you understand, when you ask for evidence for flat Earth, it doesn't make any sense because you can see it.
Well, for
No,
the
if
self-evident,
you go to the Royal Society,
you said the sky is black at night. Well, I evidently showed you that it's not. You also see that the sky is not.
What time
blue,
was
it's
that?
red.
Prove the time. What time was it?
I can prove the time. Hold on.
Prove the time. Prove the
It's
time.
it's actually in the image.
Yeah, but how are we going to
Go ahead,
prove it was
look at
actual
the,
time? Too
look
much
at the
to
image.
demonstrate for that.
No,
Well, look at the
it's
details
not.
of the
It's not actually in there, Moyak. It's cropped out.
Sorry, guys, we don't have the time. No good
I
to
got
no
it.
one.
I got the original.
No good to no one. Sorry.
So, well, actually, is it in contention that this photograph was not taken of
Anyway.
the sky at night?
You asked. You don't need evidence to know the sky is blue. You don't need evidence to know the grass is green. It's very simple.
The sky
Right.
is black, and I showed
grass
you.
is not always green. The sky is not always blue. So you're wrong. It's not self-evident.
Alright, give me the evidence
You're
then,
right.
that it's not always blue and not always green.
It's already been posted.
Fucking
Moose.
hell.
In the daytime, day.
That would be Nemesis.
Show me that in the daytime, the sky is not blue.
Right there,
Well,
Kimo, the picture I posted,
What's
where it's
the
all
time?
fucking
What
It can
time?
be grey, it can be
All the
red, it
smoke.
can be
Where's the
anything.
clock? Where's
the day
the
I took that
time?
photo, Kimo, I
I'm
can actually
looking
tell you
now,
the day I
where's
took
the
that
time?
photo. Hang on, I'll tell you. I can't put it up there because it doesn't show up in the picture, but I can tell
then
you
it's
because
no
I've still
good
got it
to know
stored
what.
on my phone. Give me a second. I'll tell you what date I took it.
No, time.
Well, that'll have the time as well.
Yeah, it will.
Time.
Give me a minute. I'll find
Got to
it.
be at least after
Moy-
1 o'clock in the morning. at least.
Moyok posted 3 minutes ago. Moyok posted a photo showing you
Anyway, we're
non-green
talking about
grass.
the daytime. The sky is blue. Self-evident.
It is not. It's not
It's
self-evident.
not
The sky
always
is blue.
blue. So
Show me a daytime when
grey
it's not
sometimes.
blue.
Sometimes it's
can be
grey.
grey.
Show me then. Let's take a look. Give me the evidence for the sky not being blue in the daytime.
Kimo, I'm not going to have sea line you and show you a grey sky when you know, as well as anyone else listening, that sometimes the sky is grey. Just suck it up.
What time? Where? Give us a look. Evidence.
Mine was.
Yeah,
Mine was
Mr. Moleman. Moleman posted something.
What is
You've
the
never seen a grey
time? What
sky.
is the time?
You lived in Great Britain and you've
Oh my
never seen a grey
gosh.
sky.
All these fancy pictures with no time. Exactly.
What does it matter what time it is?
Of course it does. I said in the daytime. 12 o'clock
Well, that
midday.
Mole,
The sky is
Okay.
blue.
Mole
Here we
man.
go, Kimo. All right, Kimo. The date I took that picture was 8th of November 2019 at 3:10 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Are we done now?
Yeah.
It seems like the
So,
daytime.
do you want a screenshot of those details? Give me a sec.
No.
I was
We
taking
need to
it
see
right
it. No.
from
We need to see a real clock in the picture.
Guys,
Wait, what the
what
fuck
are we
are
doing
you
here?
stupid,
This is
Kimo?
the metadata of the photo. When you click on details, this is where I got it. Give me a sec. 1 sec. Wait.
No.
I'll
You
post
can
it up.
manipulate that. You can
Yes,
manipulate
yes.
that.
I've literally just done it
Ah,
while I've been
yes.
talking to
No.
you.
Any
So-
manipulation is.
How am I going to have manipulated it in the time that it's taken me to post it between now and now?
Oh, you're in the
There you
daytime now, are
go.
you?
Right there.
Are you in the
Also
daytime?
Photoshop a stupid clock into the picture.
Hold on a second. Cypher, you're in the daytime now.
No, it's 1 a.m.
What you want
in
about
the
then?
morning. So no, it's dark.
What you want
That
about
photo
then?
that I took of the picture that I took of the red fucking sky, Kimo, I took on the, what was it? 8th of November 2019 at 3:10 in the afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
So, and explain to me how I've doctored the details.
What was the cause of that red
screenshot
sky?
I've just posted up where it says details.
What caused the red
Date
sky?
8 November 2019.
What was the
you can
cause
actually-
of the red sky?
We don't know. It was red.
Smoke. No, it was smoke.
Oh,
It was
smoke.
the
There you
fire.
go then. So it's not a red
It was the
sky then,
bushfires
is
that
it?
were happening.
Duh.
Not fucking relevant. The sky is
Ah,
red.
so that wasn't the
Red
cause. The
sky,
sky
man.
was still blue. It just had a little bit of
And I
dye
told you
from
that it was from the
smoke.
fucking fires. Do you not listen?
Oh
to
my
everything they say?
gosh.
Kimo, your
Guys,
argument
what are-
was the sky is always blue. It's self-evident. The sky is blue, but
Guys,
now it's
what
not blue.
What are we
Right,
doing
Kosher,
here,
you're
guys?
interrupting
What
once
is the
again.
point- what is the point of trying to convince the Kimo that the sky's not always blue
Right,
when it's an obvious
that's it
fact?
now. You've been warned.
He's doing this for whatever reason. There's no need to.
No, we've been warned about this. Go and speak to Jem before you start directing Kosho others on how to speak. when they should speak, it's not allowed anymore.
Nah, he's just pointing out the obvious, really.
Well, there was a meeting in here, and Jen went absolutely crazy about telling others.
You guys, move on. Kimo,
Anyway,
present
so-
us flat Earth evidence besides it's self-evident. Present us evidence.
Stop.
Evidence
Don't
of
mute
what?
me again. Okay? I'm not telling
Well,
people not to talk to you.
Yeah, well, again,
Alright.
you stop
I'm asking
directing
him-
other
I'm asking him,
adults.
look
Jem's
what
already
you're
said
doing,
stop
trying to
telling
convince you
other adults
this guy's not blue.
how to
Kimo,
speak.
Shut the fuck up, Kimo. If you interrupt me again or you mute me again, I'm going to kick you from the room. Don't do it to me when I'm in the middle
Right,
of talking.
well, like I
Kimo.
said, then no one's talking
Fucking
then.
stupid, Kimo.
You're interrupting the conversation,
Yeah.
for a start.
You muted me while I was in the middle of talking,
No, you were
Kimo.
telling other people how they should engage.
No, I wasn't directing anyone to do shit, Kimo. I
Yes,
was
you
asking
were.
people
You
why
were saying they
were
should
fucking
speak like this, they
guy's
should
blue.
speak like
It's
that, they
obvious
should speak
this guy's
like this.
blue.
They are grown adults, they don't need to be told how to speak.
Kimo, if you fucking interrupt me again, that's why you mute people when they're interrupting you.
No.
I'm in the middle of
The
talking, don't mute me,
conversation is
Kimo.
fine.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
fucking do that, Kimo. You're gonna have a problem.
Well, that wasn't me that time. I don't know. Because you're talking too much now.
I muted myself.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, like I said.
Just
At the end of the day,
if you
these
got the power
people
to
are
boot him, I'd say
adults.
boot him.
They're all adults.
Boot the fuck up.
They don't need guidance off another adult. Oh, you should talk like this. You're not going to get anywhere like this. If they feel they're going to
Why
get
you
somewhere,
keep going
Kosho, that's up to them. It's not down to you to say, okay, guys, enough is enough now. I've had enough of this conversation. We need
Does
to take a
anyone else
different
smell
Kimo,
direction.
it's up to me. It's up to me to say whatever the fuck I want. It's up to me to fucking say to people
No,
whatever the
well,
fuck I want to
really,
say.
we've had this
If I want to
discussion.
ask people why they're trying to convince you the sky's blue, Kimo, I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's
Yeah,
not
but
up to
what
you to
you're
direct
doing
the
is that
shit
you're
I
shutting
say.
down the
I
conversation.
advise you not to fucking do it.
Yeah, you're shutting down the conversation, Kosho, and the idea is to maintain the conversation. Now, if that means people want to figure out what is the evidence for the flat Earth, we have to go through it. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just sit in silence
That's
like
my
this
fucking
now?
point, Kimo. We're not talking about the evidence of flat Earth. We're trying to convince you that the sky is sometimes a different
You're
color.
making me
That
dizzy,
to me
my
seems
arc.
retarded. It seems retarded on the part of people trying to convince you the sky is not only blue. So why don't you go ahead and talk about the flat Earth then, Kimo?
I was getting dizzy then.
Right, you need to stop
Hey,
interjecting, Kosho.
Kimo,
All right?
tell me how tell me how the harnesses worked in this video.
Are we moving on to different subjects now?
Well, no, it's a subject we were talking about 20 minutes ago. Harnesses in 1973, before CGI
Well, hold on,
was
but let's just
around.
clear up the sky. The sky.
Well,
It's Moya.
well, I mean, if you're too stupid to be able to admit that the sky can sometimes be red and sometimes be grey, it's a pointless exercise.
Yeah, but
as
what's the
Kimo said.
cause of that colour change?
What's the cause of the blue sky?
The sun.
No,
What is it then?
the sun is not blue.
No, but it causes the
The
sky
sun
to
does not
light
emit
up as blue.
light. The sun does not emit blue light. No.
I didn't say it does. I said it causes, though, the light.
Yes,
from
it's, the contents of the atmosphere cause the sky to look blue, just like the contents of the atmosphere cause the sky to look grey on a grey day, or red on a day where there's lots of smoke in the air. The contents of the atmosphere. So your
yeah, but
argument's
if I
totally
get a
pointless.
massive torch and light up the air at night, you don't see blue. So the sun is what's doing it.
No, it's the contents of the atmosphere that make it blue.
Well, who knows? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows why the sky is blue. Yeah, right.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Anyway, so how do the harnesses work in this video from 1973?
Oh,
where there's
yeah.
no CGI?
Back then, they used Thunderbirds type models.
Well, watch the video and explain how these harnesses can work, where they're all tangled up with each other if there was harnesses involved. Because there's about 4 guys doing acrobats in the.
What is this there? Let's take a look. Where's the link? Harley's video.
No, at 30 minutes past the hour.
Ah, just post it again.
Kimo has seen this literally 100 times.
What is
I
it?
remember showing this to Kimo years ago.
What is it? Post it again.
13 minutes past the hour. You can't scroll up to.
Ah,
little
this.
bit.
Yeah. I've seen that a billion times. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, probably because I don't think it has that many hits on it. So yeah. It's probably only got 25 hits or something, so that'd be fun.
I've seen it a lot of times. It means just a lot of times.
You've watched my video 102 times, have you?
No, is that yours? No, I've seen this
Yeah.
thing before. What is it? Starlab.
Yeah, well,
Skylab.
And you can't explain it. Skylab, yeah, you can't explain it.
Easily. Have you never seen those frogs levitating?
You can't levitate human beings.
Have you ever seen those frogs levitating?
They go a few centimeters off the ground in some sort of
in that
magnetic
same
field,
video,
right?
he says if you build a big enough machine, you could have it done for humans. So there.
Machine, Kimo.
Yeah, if you build a big enough machine like the ISS,
No,
the
can you
size
show
of the
it to us? Can you
ISS.
show that someone's actually built one.
And when was this? When was the frogs done? In 1973?
Oh, this is an old scientific understanding.
I think the frogs were. I think they used sound, like basically in an acoustic chamber to levitate the frog.
Oh, did they?
No, it was
pressure.
magnetic something. And they also got it done to a tomato.
Yeah, but it's not moving around freely. It was being held in place by the sound waves, right?
Because
it wasn't
the frog could be like,
it wasn't be able to do acrobats and fly across the chamber.
Yeah, the same as the astronauts. They just move around.
And could they do 4 of them at once? Could they do 4 frogs at once?
If you had a big enough machine, yes.
Really? Show us.
The Skylab.
Come on, then.
No, that's a circular argument. We don't do circular arguments in logic.
Skylab is violating space.
Show us the independent. Show us the big machine on Earth where they do this with human beings.
I've just told you.
That's a circular argument.
As I recall, they were doing it with magnetism, and if you do it with magnetism, moving 30 feet closer to the magnet would change that field dramatically, and they would not be able to continue.
No, the same video says if you build a big enough machine, they drew it, you could make a human float.
You could float
show us this machine.
There's a bigger problem than that. To do this, it requires a supercooled conductor, something close to a semiconductor. And in 1973, we were good 25, 28 years away from that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was semiconductor stuff. That's why I was asking.
So it cost around 60 million to make one of these, I reckon. Yeah, they get that every day. So yeah, no problem.
But a superconductor.
Yeah, the technology
How the
wasn't
fuck
around
would
in
you know?
1973.
No, just I reckon.
That technology wasn't around in 1973, Kimo, unless you can demonstrate that it was, because that
the point is
research and awards came a lot later. That's in 2008, 2010, I think.
Point is, TT guy says, how does this work? We know how. We have the technology to do that. No big deal. Move on.
Now we do, but we didn't then. Maybe we do now. We certainly didn't in 1973.
Oh, we had we had that technology way before 1970s.
Then can you demonstrate that and show it, please?
Oh yeah, we've got Nikola Tesla.
Specifically,
Nikolai Tesla.
Diamagnetic levitation.
Nikolai Tesla could do all those things and more.
He didn't do diamagnetic levitation.
Nikolai Tesla could do all of that and more.
He did not do that.
He could do all of that and more, yeah.
No, he did not do that.
Show us the evidence of that then, Kimo. How do you know that?
Skylab.
Skylab is not Nikola Tesla. What the fuck are you talking
when they stole Tesla's work, they didn't have the technology to build Tesla's work until the 70s.
He's making it.
Tesla didn't believe in quantum mechanics, man.
It's not about what he believed; it's what his technology could do.
If he didn't believe it, then his technology doesn't have any relevance.
Can you point to the paper he published describing the methodology that they could then build in 1973? Can you point to that paper, please?
No, we've got the evidence of it.
Well, show me then. Show me that evidence, please.
Skylab, you just posted it.
No, you said that Tesla published this technology.
No. They stole a load of Tesla's papers.
Oh, well, show me those papers. Show me those papers where this technology was published by Tesla.
Why
did Kimo just admit that Skylab's real?
No. Skylab is on the Earth using magnetics, acoustics.
Where's the papers that Tesla published this technology in?
Well, I mean, I guess it's in the hands of the military.
So how do you know it exists then? If you're telling me it's secret?
You do a bit of research, put things together, and then you work things out.
Kimo, which Skylab are you talking about?
No. We can levitate frogs. We can levitate tomatoes. It's not a big deal.
we've done a bit of research. We've all got together and we've all figured out that the Earth is a globe.
Oh, that's a lie. That is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's actually not a lie, Kimo.
That is a lie.
And I will now show you as much information for the globe as you do to the fact that Skylab is based on the ground and it's using diamagnetic levitation that Tesla somehow invented. I will show you as much detail on the globe as you show me the paper trail for that. Fair?
Because I'm reading Skylab was a space station.
Yes.
Weird that.
I think we've even got video of the launch, so we're already ahead of Kimo and his ground-based Skylab.
Yeah,
So there you go. Things must orbit. Therefore, if Skylab's real, it must be a globe. Good job, Kimo. Congratulations, you've on the globe side. That's it. It's over. Well done.
They were hoping to resupply it with the first space shuttle, but it didn't stay up there long enough.
No, in fucking Australia.
Yep. It had a shower on board.
A running track, evidently.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it didn't really work very well.
Where's
but-
Mole Man? Mole Man's still here. Mole Man.
He's not here.
He gone? Because my argument absolutely destroyed him. When you
which one? The one which said that things were done on
we can get into
Skylab that existed.
what?
The one where you said Skylab existed.
Skylab, yeah, all that's here on either in the sky or on Earth.
In the sky.
I'm pretty sure that's why they
Skylab
called
could
it
just be
Skylab.
a big giant chamber they've dropped from the sky, and yeah, it just hits the floor. Then they go back, just like the zero G plane.
Right, and how does something shaped like that do that?
What do you mean?
Have you seen? Hang on, I'll get you a picture. Give me a sec.
What does it look like from the outside? Give us a look from the outside.
Well,
I've never seen
surely
it
you've
from
done
the
your homework
outside
and you
before.
know what
Yep,
it
I'm
looks
just
like.
about to.
Yeah, I've only seen the inside, never the outside.
There you go.
That's it. There you go.
This is Skylab, so it's just like a big,
Yes.
massive jumbo
Yes, it
jet.
is. So tell me, how does that do what the zero G? Like that looks like it would tear apart if it tried to take a nosedive the way
First
it
of all,
did.
that looks like
Some of it tore
CGI.
apart going up.
That looks like CGI for a start, but let's say it's
How?
real.
How does it look CGI?
Oh my gosh, look at the cartoon errors.
Run it through
How
a filter
does it
then.
look CGI?
Ow.
What, you
Run
can
it
tell
through-
just
run
by
it
looking at
through
it that it's CGI. Launched at the time before we had CGI.
What are you talking about? We've always had CGI.
No, we haven't.
It's just a matter of when they release it to the public. The military have all of these.
Photographic film, Kimo.
The military take advantage of all of these things first, just like the internet was around way before we knew it was around.
Yes,
right?
yes, of course it was, you conspiratard fucking numpty.
Well, it was. These things are around way before the public get
Yeah,
hold of them.
you
Actually, no, to be fair, Kimo's kind of right on that. You know, we had Super Janet. I'm sure Kimo will be able to tell us about that.
So that
We had
Skylab,
Tim
all it
Berners-Lee
is just
and the development of the internet.
being dropped from a
And
high
so-
height.
Oh, I was sure I was in the middle of a sentence. Seems to be happening again, Kimo. Can you watch your over talking, please?
You're very low. I don't know if I've got you turned.
No, he's not. He's not low at all. Stop lying.
Probably my end,
You
yeah.
probably got me turned out. If I'm low, you can adjust my volume against my
yes,
icon.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably help.
No,
So,
volume's
Tim
fine. Volume
Berners-Lee,
is
he was
fine.
directly responsible for the internet and the development of HTML. And obviously TCP/IP, which is, I think, really what Kimo's talking about, was a development piece of the army. But that wasn't the internet. That was a very different beast. That's just a protocol.
Look, they had the internet ever since Tesla with his technology. All secret stuff that wasn't privy to the public.
Dear.
You crazy.
That's
Cool,
how
you've
the
got another problem
You
with
lost
C++,
your fucking
ain't you,
mind,
Kimo?
Kimo.
Kimo, do you know what year Photoshop was released in? Yes or no?
Like I say, from the inception of all these things, they knew what they were doing.
No. Do you know when it was developed and
I
released?
don't mind.
No, again,
Because
you
it was
guys
quite a
have
few
been,
years
you've been lied to
after
about
Skylab.
everything.
I'll give you a hint. It was after Skylab was up.
Oh my, you just
Can
believe
you guess
everything
how
you're
long?
told, right?
It was probably, let's see, if it was
So
released
do
in
you.
1990, then it was 16 years
we put the
after
pieces
Skylab
together,
was even
Blue.
in the sky.
Look, sci-fi, you just believe everything that you're told. It doesn't matter what you're told, you just believe it.
So do you.
No, we put the pieces together.
No, somebody told you the Earth was flat and you believed it.
No, I went and had a look. I had a look
No, you
myself.
didn't.
So I got in a
No, you
plane
didn't.
and said, well, obviously
No,
we
you
can see
haven't.
curvature from an aeroplane. And it was like, what? No curvature.
Stop lying.
Well, there is no
You haven't
curvature from an
researched it at
aeroplane.
all. You haven't researched it at all.
Show me curvature from an aeroplane.
No, you haven't
I've seen
researched it at all. You're just lying.
Exactly, farmers. There is no
Exactly.
curvature.
No, what? You're lying. I know you're lying.
About what?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Must have been in the
Every
plane before.
baseless assertion you make, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, it seems like that
Been
now.
all the time with me, Kimo. I can see
Because it is.
Right, this
He is
conversation
honest
is
about
going somewhere, but not there.
He is honest about one thing. He's never measured it, never looked into it.
Correct.
He just
No, I've
it
never
just looks
measured
like
it. You don't need to
And-
make any measurement. Unless you want to know how
Well, but
big it
only
is,
by-
but the Earth is that big, it would take you forever to measure the entire thing.
Well, do you get to decide what constitutes a measurement? What tools I can use? Is it your decision
Yes,
that
yes.
only some kinds of things will be a
Yes.
measurement in your head?
Yes, we are the arbiter
Is that-
of what is and what isn't. Now, if you're going to do science or measurements...
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
Good.
No,
good.
you're not.
Did you not hear Emily this
another-
morning? Emily was asking me for the authority. She said, tell me. You're my
No,
authority.
you are the arbiter of bullshit,
No,
lies, and
Emily
nonsense.
wanted the advice from us. She said, tell us.
Good.
Explain to us.
We have there's another piece of honesty on the table. Only in Kimo's mind will Kimo be satisfied with certain kinds of measurements. However, when we're building ubiquitous technology of satellites, we're going to go with reality, and you can just sit off to the side and use satellites but deny their existence. You even said you saw the Starlink train, and that's not proof that satellites exist because you don't know what they are. Well, you don't know. It's not that we don't know, because data is received from those satellites. Continuous streaming video of the launch of those satellites, and not just one or two, little fake me's, but 14 fucking hundred, and that's just in the past couple of years.
Now. So again, even you guys see us as authority. Not just me, but all the flat earthers. Because when we falsify your model, you ask us, what is the working model? You're waiting for us to give you the answers. You see?
But you haven't presented any falsifications.
Yeah, we falsified the heliocentric model, the radius. You have no radius, no measurable radius. You have no lunar eclipses. Cannot happen unless...
When did you...
What?
When did you do the falsification? We're still waiting for that. All we end up with by your own presentation is stuff that demonstrates, yeah, that's right, it's a planet because South Pole exists, eclipses, sunrise, sunset, and tides.
I don't know what you're asking me here. I'm saying we falsified your model. That doesn't mean we're telling you now we will not be replaced until said time. So right now we're not focused on building a model. We're exposing the globe lie. When the time comes to build a model, when we have full exploration, full scope of things, that's when these things will happen. That's what we keep telling you. There will be no model. We are the arbiters of what is and what isn't when it comes to science. Now, obviously, if someone tries to do science and it turns out to be just what they believe, like bio, well, that's up to him. He can do whatever he wants.
Well, yeah,
you see, but
fortunately, if even though you're the arbiters for your own little friendship circle, that doesn't mean that is how it plays out in reality. You can sit there and refuse it like a little puritanical schoolgirl refusing where babies come from. That's fine. But satellites still go up. South Pole still exists. And measurements are done by an array of technologies. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean that they're not accurate, valid, repeatable, accurate, repeatable science. Remember, repeatable science. Your measurement, my measurement will be the same when we're using the same tools. And we can use analog tape measures, we can use lasers, we can use GPS, and we can use satellites, and they all get the same answers to within very narrow margin of errors. We call that repeatable science. Just like when Mount Everest was measured by angles, from theodolites and curvature and refraction. And 50 years later, they did it again with different theodolites and got a few feet different. And then they did it again with GPS and got a different answer of a few fucking meters. From 150 years ago to now, the elevation of Mount Everest with curvature, refraction, the ellipsoid, the geoid, the sea level, all come up to the same answer by different technologies. So if you think that you're the arbiter that GPS is fake and doesn't work or is imaginary, it equates and validates what was done in 1860, 1950, 1980, 1990, year 2005. So that's repeatable science. You want repeatable science? There you fucking go.
Well, that was the old order, Larry. The new way, this new generation, are doing things differently. Okay, so we don't just believe what we were told. You're going to have something practical, so that we can do at any given moment. You see, well, the answer won't be somebody else. Somebody.
How can it get more practical than actually repeating measurements from 1850 with completely different technologies and getting the same values? You got a new way. You got a new order. Oh, you're going to redefine what measurement is because you're the arbiter? So by your declaration, satellites aren't really there, South Pole isn't really there, and a dome must be?
Well, if you say...
And anybody goes to the ice wall, so they don't come back because it's a one-way suicide trip?
Well, present something then to prove these things that you're saying. Well, the fact that you can't leaves us in the position of authority, you see?
You said you even saw the Starlink train, and you see the same sunrise, sunsets that we do. We're done.
Yeah, I saw that Starlink. Quite fantastic, really. But it didn't go over a curvature. It just went straight across the sky. It did actually look like Santa Claus's, reindeer thing. Sunsets, again, we know that the horizon's not physical. It's not going beyond a physical geometric horizon. Therefore, no setting, no actual physical setting. But again, we tell you these things. I don't think you quite get it. We're telling you the horizon is not physical. That means now you have to go out there and show it either is or accept the truth that the horizon is not physical. If it is physical...
No, we have shown it to you, and you just refused it because you're the arbiter of what you will believe or won't believe, and that doesn't prevent the advancement of the technology, and the current state-of-the-art technology has nothing to do with your arbitration.
No, again, not accepted. Unless it's repeatable, where that horizon's at the same place every time, then you don't have the physics, Larry. Rant and moan and whine and complain doesn't change the fact that you personally yourself cannot locate the physical geometric horizon. You, Larry. That's what we are the arbiter of. We're telling you what is and what isn't. Now you cannot locate the physical geometric horizon. Ever.
But what is repeatable is accurately reproducing vertical, which is radial to the planet, and measuring that deviation from parallel at different locations. That's accurately measured and repeatable. You see, everything's repeatable. Nothing is coming up all crazy and unique other than a landscape photo of the fucking ocean horizon, which nobody uses as a reference for anything.
Well, you're going to start needing to, because unless it drops beyond that horizon, you have no globe.
Well, the ship did go over the horizon, and the sun does go over the horizon. Again, more repeatable science. Sorry. And just because the ship dips over the horizon at a slightly different distance on different kinds of days, with a cause and effect of barometric pressures, and temperatures, and atmospheres, yeah, that is a fairly predictable, but it's nebulous to some extent. Sure, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We don't use the horizon as a reference for anything, including measuring the shape, diameter, dimensions of the planet.
Again, you're not listening, are you? As long as you're not listening, we're going to keep on banging that drum so you can hear what's being said. You, Larry, cannot figure out, measure up to that geometric horizon. Without your geometric horizon, the Earth is not curving.
Wrong-o there, fat boy, because measuring it measuring the horizon to an approximation and measuring from zenith angles to a high precision are not incongruent. It's not all based on, oh, there's a variation in the horizon. It doesn't like whip straight overhead and go to nothing. No, it's a variation in it. That's why it is assigned or measured within range, okay, and it's not inconsistent with measuring from zenith angles to stationary objects, and the two are not completely incompatible. It's just the visual horizon is not a point of precision.
Your
and just because,
your claim, Larry,
just because you insist does not make it the law of the land. That just means you and your little circle jerk of friends are only going to adopt what you decide. If you want to play chess and you want to tell me how few pieces I can have.
Okay, so your claim is based on a condition. That's the only way you can get out of it, if it meets the conditions, Larry. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius, then it has to have physical geometric horizon at the given distance of the observer, Larry. That's the condition. If it doesn't have that, Larry, then you don't have a globe. That's all you have at the moment. The flat Earth is not based on if this, then that. That's the globe. If it is this size, then it will have that horizon at that location. You can't get away from that. So unless you can find your geometric horizon where the drop would be for that given observer, then you're not on the ball. That's why we say, every time you say apparent horizon, we say welcome to flat Earth. Not getting it just yet, but the point is, there's no physical geometric horizon. Well then, where does the Earth start curving? Nowhere. Horizon is apparent.
So where does the apparent horizon come from, Kimo?
Comes from the ground and the sky converging like train tracks.
At the geometric horizon.
No, there is no geometric horizon. If there is, point it out. Let's take a look at it. There, day after day.
Kimo, you're not understanding anything again.
Probably not.
But we all know that, so...
That's usually the way. I probably misunderstand, probably need explaining again. And I probably don't mind hearing it, so let's take it away. Where have I got it wrong?
The geometric horizon only exists in mathematics because in our world here we have atmosphere, which makes the light bend, so it's not a straight line anymore. The horizon is a tangent point, so this is where your line of sight hits the ground, and everything behind it is hidden, at least if it's not tall enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this line of sight can also be round this tangent, which is the tangent point.
Well, but that's the point. We can't have a tangent on a horizon that's not physical.
No. It is where, look, you have like a bendy line, which is your view, like what you see, and it hits the ground somewhere. And if this line bends different, the horizon, the tangent point, I will call it like this, will also change the position. So this is why we see.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you're whatever height, there has to be a place where the Earth is no longer visible to that observer. Because it's beyond the horizon, beyond the curvature.
Yes, this is behind the tangent point. If you know all data, the temperature, the densities, and everything you need to know, you can calculate this point. It's absolutely possible.
Yeah, you guys know all the variants in the atmosphere, but you still can't pinpoint the geometric horizon. Why is that?
We can pinpoint it.
Oh, you can?
We just do not see it because we have this bendy line.
But we can
calculate to you where a straight line hits from a... You have a height x, and then you just make a straight line to the ground.
Okay.
and try to make it as far as possible. You can make it like just with drawing. You don't even need to calculate anything.
But what about the real world? Has anyone located the
You need
geometric
real life drawing, but
what?
Nothing.
So in the real world, has anyone located, measured, pinpointed the geometric horizon? No.
Can you get on there with it open? Well, that's usually the issue. They don't want me up there.
You got a hard mark.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So Sam,
so Kimo, look.
You're
The thing is,
so much
see what I'm doing here.
So basically, as I said before.
Hold on a second, Sam. I'm back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know, delicious one post.
World that you live in. Okay? Okay. So we are back. Still there, Sam?
Yes, I'm still here.
Good, man. I mean, I get it, right? Horizon's one of the most complicated features of where we live. And it's like, well, hold on a second.
No.
Is that physical or what's going on? So what we figured out, because what we did was make careful observations prolonged over a period. Not just like how you ball earthers go out to the beach, to the waters and say, bang, disappearing bottom first meets curvature. We wouldn't do something as ridiculous as that. Again, this is why we're the leaders of the new school and why we're the arbiters of what is and what isn't, because we've been out there.
That's a lot of poison in the well.
No, I'm saying the reason why we are in the position we're in is because we actually go out there and do the things that show everyone else that they're wrong. You see, now when you're actually out there in the field, as it were.
One question, what about the scientists which sit like literally 10 years for a project, for a single experiment, trying to prove or not provide evidence for something? What about them? Did you forget them?
You're cracking up, you are a little bit. Alright,
like,
Doctor, are good. Go.
Kimo, because there are globers, like literally every scientist out there spends hours, days, months on his projects.
Sorry, say again.
Out there,
I was looking
you
at
said the
Bob's...
globers only...
I got the last.
Oh, connection's a real bad... Is my connection perfect now? As long as you can all hear me. My mic is working pristine. Yes? Here?
Is mine working now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as pristine as mine, but yeah. So, Sammy, check your mic.
No, test.
Test,
we hear me?
we hear you. So the idea is that in the olden days, we would see boats go over the horizon and think, oh, well, if it's half missing, my experience tells me when something is half missing, it must be going over something physical, right? That was the old world. Then obviously, what? No?
No. When half of it's missing, it means something's between us and the other half.
Yeah, that's the old. That's the old way of thinking, the old view.
No, that's the current way too.
No. Currently, the current understanding of the horizon is that it's not physical. Yeah?
No, it is physical.
Again, I'm sorry, that is the old way of understanding the world.
Oh, Kimo.
It is not. The horizon is a physical thing. It is physical blockage.
I'm glad you saw that.
Any little word games you play are not going to make a difference. It's a physical blockage.
Yeah. No, I get one now.
Oh, we're just
damn.
micing all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. Don't know. I just don't know what's happening.
I did a full analysis of the black swan and found all the horizons. So, I mean, it's not a problem. We can easily see them.
Well, it's not just in that image. Every single image we see of the horizon, we need to know, is that geometric or apparent? Now, if it turns out it's apparent...
No, we don't.
I'm just saying, if it
we don't need to know if it's geometric or apparent, because the geometric horizon doesn't make any difference. The apparent horizon is what we see. And quite frankly, do you even understand the relationship between the geometric and the apparent? If you say the geometric horizon is 1.22 miles away, is that a minimum, a maximum, or does the horizon always have to be there?
No further. So it can be closer. It can appear close.
No, that's an absolutely incorrect understanding. That is the minimum the horizon can be. Refraction extends it out further.
It can be no more.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that is not the case. The geometric horizon is established by the radius of the sphere.
Like, for example,
the apparent horizon is established and extended past the geometric horizon by refraction, by definition. You can't argue with the definition.
Like, for example, if we were to zoom in on a basketball and look at the horizon on a basketball, that horizon can be no further than the height, the observer height, whatever it is, given at the the distance. So that's
what? The way that works, Kimo, and that is not the way that works. The geometric horizon is the minimum horizon. Horizons can be further than the geometric horizon. That's what a refracted horizon is.
So demonstrate then with a basketball how the horizon can be further than the height given and the distance.
Why would I demonstrate it on a basketball with it doesn't have a gradiated atmosphere over it like the Earth does? Why not demonstrate it right on the Earth?
It has a geometric horizon, a basketball.
So does the Earth.
No. You have the atmosphere, which gives you the illusion of a horizon.
Okay, so you understand that the horizon is past the geometric horizon on the Earth because we have an atmosphere. Very good. You're making progress, Kimo.
No. I said it gives the illusion of a horizon. The sky is not really touching the ground.
How is it an illusion?
Because it's not really taking place.
Yes, it is, actually. Absolutely,
so the sky is really touching the ground.
Well, the sky always touches the ground because we have atmosphere next to water.
No, when I say sky, I mean, what do I mean by sky?
It's not an illusion.
When I say sky, I don't just mean what's in front of your face. What do I mean? I mean where the clouds are. Yes.
Oh, really?
Clouds.
So now you've got a different definition of sky. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your special flat Earth definition of sky? Does it have to have clouds?
It doesn't have to have clouds, but it's up where the clouds are.
Okay, so what happens if it doesn't have clouds? Where's the horizon if there's no clouds?
Where the clouds would.
Where the clouds would be, so you know where they would be. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
They're around. They have a particular height. I can't remember the limit.
What height?
I just said I can't remember the limit. Or the.
Okay.
Or the
are they at a set height based on conditions like temperature and dew point?
Again, they'll just have a set height, and not.
No, they're not at a set height. They're at different.
You won't get clouds
based
in
on
front
what?
of your face, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're based on the height's based on what?
And that's just to do with the weather cycle, Bob.
No, it doesn't have to do with the weather cycle. It has to do with two particular things. What are they?
Go on. Enlighten me.
No, you need to go look that up.
Enlighten me, Bob. Give me some of this globe knowledge that you think you have. Because, Bob, you don't have the knowledge, you see. And we don't make guesses. Either we know it through science or we know it through measurements. And again, that's why we are the arbiters of what is and what isn't.
We can measure it. Thanks.
Another one bites the dust. Now, again, that's what happens.
Well, you say that's pigeons playing chess syndrome.
No.
So go ahead and continue your argument that the horizon doesn't actually exist.
Oh, yeah, it's just an apparent position. Not a real location.
No.
It's not a real tangible thing that you can measure to. It cannot be measured.
Sure we can.
That should be made clear that you cannot measure to the horizon.
Yeah, but I'm telling you we can. That's not a problem. I measured the distance to the horizon on the Black Swan. It's 1.85 miles.
No, that's if the ball was. That's if we were on a ball. That's how it would be.
No, that's where it is.
No, but it's not there, Bob. That's the whole point of the Black Swan.
Yes, it is.
He was on the ground, camera on the ground. The horizon was over 10 miles away.
No, it's 1.85 miles.
Hold on, wait. Bob, he just said it. He gave a measurement.
Yep, 10 miles.
No,
yeah,
I didn't give him the measurement. What measurement?
You said 10 miles.
He just did.
Oh, yeah, that's the platform. Yeah, the platforms are... The reason why we know that... Sorry, Brenda, one last point.
1 mile.
One last point, Brenda. The reason why we know that, Bearded, is because of the platform. That's why that area is so particular and specific and...
Hold on, dude.
The horizon is between the shore and the platform.
Yeah, you said it can't be measured. You gave a measurement for the horizon.
No,
there you go.
If I did, what I meant... Okay, so what I meant was the platforms
are 10 miles.
Don't care what you meant. You failed the answer. You know, we're the arbiters of science.
No,
here.
you're
not. Yeah, we are actually.
I can't get my explanation. That doesn't mean
1.85 miles from the shore.
Dr. Bob, you got absolutely smacked in the chatterbox the other night.
What?
You got absolutely smacked, dude, in the chatterbox the other night. You tried to a refrigerator as your evidence of the globe.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, dude.
I used the refrigerator as an example of entropy. There's a difference. We were talking about atmospheric pressure next to space, but nice try to change it. You know, now that I'm handing
absolutely destroyed, dude.
Go ahead, I don't mind, because again, we're just going to be talking in circles with this horizon.
Now, the horizon on Black Swan is not more than 10 miles. It's not beyond either of the oil rigs. It's at 1.85 miles. You have oil rig missing on Habitat, and you have oil rig missing on Hill House. The radius of the refracted radius of the Earth is 9,000 miles in that photograph, and the horizon's 1.85 miles away.
Bob, the horizon cannot be measured if it's apparent.
I just did.
Well, you're
just did.
measuring something that's not there.
Apparently it is, because I could measure it.
Well, how on earth would you do with that if it's not there?
Watch the video.
So then, let's talk about when you getting destroyed. What was that globe skeptic? What happened to Bob? Can you give us the details?
We were talking about how you could have atmosphere next to space was not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. I asked them what the second law of thermodynamics was and the effect of work on the second law of thermodynamics. None of them could answer properly. So they started shouting over and doing a bunch of bullshit as usual. And quite frankly, I decided it wasn't worth my time.
Well, in a nutshell, it's basically hot to cold, high to low. Simplified.
What is the effect of work on it?
On what?
On entropy.
On what?
On the second law of
on the
thermodynamics.
Atmosphere?
Yeah, what's the effect of work on the atmosphere?
Well, that depends on the temperature.
No, it doesn't.
Because what else does it depend on?
What is work?
Work is the ability to do something, given energy.
No. What is the definition of work?
I've just told you it utilizes energy.
No.
Go on then, what
work
is
it? Work is defined as the displacement of mass in the direction of an applied force. Now, what does that mean?
Well, I've just told you.
Where did I say energy? I said the displacement of mass in the direction of an applied force is the definition of work.
No, you need energy to create work.
No, you don't. You
don't need energy
force
to create work.
It's used to do it, but the bottom line is it's force of any kind. Moving mass is the definition of work.
Well, I mean, it's all to do with if there's no
Find me a
energy.
definition
If there's no energy, then there's no work.
If there's force.
Well, okay, Dr. Bob, I'll play with you on this one. Okay, so you're saying that work defines the energy caused to move
No, you
mass,
didn't
right?
say energy. I said energy. I said no energy.
No, I said work is mass being displaced in the direction of an applied force. That's the definition of work.
Well, show me an experiment where you have something moving without you applying force to it first, or bringing that work first.
I can drop a lighter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
mass
you dropped it.
Yeah, it's mass being moved due to the,
it's more
due to the
dense.
application in the direction of an applied force.
But hold on. What work is that if it's an apparent acceleration, not an actual acceleration?
Does the lighter move when I let it go?
Yeah, but where is the work if it's fictitious? Fictitious force giving us a fictitious acceleration. Where is the work? You drop something.
A fictitious acceleration.
Yes, it's a pseudo acceleration. It's not an actual acceleration. In your
Really?
model. In your
Are
model,
you calling
yes.
that gravity? You're saying gravity is what causes the lighter to drop?
Well, yes, but that's even in their model.
So you have an alternative for that?
Even
Hold
their
on.
model,
Do you have an
their
alternative for that?
acceleration is not an actual. It's an apparent acceleration, not an actual acceleration.
What's the difference between an actual and apparent acceleration?
An
Kimo?
actual
I'm
acceleration has an actual force. An apparent acceleration has an apparent force, or pseudo force.
What is acceleration?
Acceleration is motion caused by a force.
Really? Really?
Kimo, have you ever had anybody? Have you ever like smashed your thumb with a hammer before?
Rate of change of velocity per time, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so the rate that things fall is not from a force. So how do you have acceleration without a force?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking you, how do you have acceleration without a force?
I did not say anything about that.
It is an
That's your-
acceleration.
Go ahead. No, you came up with something called a pseudo acceleration versus a real acceleration. I'm fascinated to hear what that is.
No, I said an apparent acceleration.
All right. Well, pseudo and apparent are also used interchangeably in that particular context. But if you want to use
So the apparent
we'll use
horizon is the
apparent.
pseudo horizon.
I didn't say that.
You just oh my gosh.
In the context of force, you can use apparent or pseudo. Yes.
But anyway,
That
it's
doesn't
an
have anything
apparent,
to do with
it's an apparent acceleration, not an actual acceleration, Bob. So how do you have
Okay, so is it accelerating or not?
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's not accelerating. So
Not
when I turn a
accelerating.
corner in a car, I'm not
You
accelerating
didn't
to
say
the
that,
outside.
Bob.
of
We're
the
talking
car.
about when you drop things.
Yeah, when
No.
you drop a lighter, is it accelerating?
Yes.
No.
Okay, is that acceleration increasing, and can you measure that?
No, hold on.
Yes.
Where does that
So
acceleration?
why does your hold on. Why does your gravity law say the 9 inches? Like how fast it drops. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Go ahead and explain it to me. What's the formula for
If
that?
it has an acceleration,
Yes.
then why? Then gravity shouldn't apply
Why?
because it's supposed to fall at the same rate.
No. What's the
Okay.
acceleration of gravity? How does gravity even work with acceleration? Do
Wait,
you know?
same
So
rate
after
9.8
one
meters
second,
per
how far
second
will the lighter
is the
fall?
rate. But again,
After 1 second, how far will the lighter fall?
yeah, it's not accelerating though.
Yes, it actually is.
Without a force, what is that force?
It does have a force acting on it.
What is the force?
Gravity.
Gravity is not a force. It's the bending of space-time.
Okay, and tell me
Bob, we
what
knew that
that
was going
means
to happen.
tell me what that means compared to a force. Since you're talking forces, you're talking Newtonian physics.
So the bending of space-time...
That's not Newtonian physics. You're talking Newtonian
that's
physics.
Einsteinian,
When you
yeah, I'm
use the
explaining the
word
difference.
force.
So Newtonian is a mechanical force, of actual pulling force.
Okay, great. And that's why you said force.
Yeah, Newtonian.
So you're talking Newtonian. We're not talking Einsteinian
yeah, but when
physics.
things
Unless you
fall, it's
want
not
to do
because
the
of
tensor math
Newtonian.
and show me it's different. No, unless you want to do the tensor math and show me it comes up with a different result, we're going to use Newtonian because you mentioned the word
equals
force.
mc squared.
That's not an acceleration, is it?
That's the equation that explains everything.
It does, huh? Great.
Well,
How does it
supposed to.
explain how fast my lighter's going to hit the ground?
Yeah, it's supposed to explain all that. That's the theory.
No, you said it explained everything. Go ahead and tell me how that'll tell me how fast my lighter will hit the ground.
Well, again, you can
Use
calculate.
E equals mc squared.
Yeah, you can time it, you can calculate it. But what we're
No.
explaining is-
Use that calculation. Since you want to use Einsteinian math, go ahead and use that calculation to tell me how long it will take my lighter to hit the ground. E equals mc squared.
We're talking about physical forces versus non-physical.
Well, then you're talking Newtonian. You want to go Newtonian?
Well, that's the difference. You got a physical force versus a non-physical, not even a force.
Oh, interesting. So,
Where
are
does
you
the
talking
acceleration
forces
come from
or
then?
not? Are you talking forces or not?
Where does the acceleration come from, Bob? Dropped your light.
Gravity. Gravity.
That Newtonian or Einsteinian?
Yes. Gravity exists in both.
Both?
Gravity in both. Yeah, gravity exists in both.
How does that
Newtonian and
work,
Einsteinian gravity is only an attempt to describe what gravity is. Gravity is its own thing.
Why would you need a pulling force if it's bending the space-time around it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, you said it's both. I'm asking why would you need something to pull if the Earth is already bending the space-time, bringing things towards it because of the bending? Why would you need a pulling force?
Well, you asked about a force. That's Newtonian. We're using Newtonian. We're
Why
not
would you
talking
need Newtonian when the Earth creates gravity well, bending of space and the time?
Yeah.
Where does the pulling force come into all of this?
In the Newtonian description of
Go on,
gravity, which we're using.
Go on, then, I'm
We're not
listening.
using Einstein. We're not using Einstein when we're talking about a lighter being dropped to the ground. We're using Newtonian.
So go on, explain to me. The light drops to the ground. What happened?
It's accelerated by an applied force and it hits the ground.
And that force is from the center of mass.
Yes.
So when Einstein says the Earth is moving towards the lighter and it's catching up with the lighter, it's incorrect.
Good for him. No, good for him.
Yeah, he's
That's
wrong.
a different way of looking at it.
Oh, so
No, it's simply
Einstein
a way of
relativity is
looking-
incorrect now.
That's what you say, yeah.
I'm asking you,
Because-
is the Earth catching up with the lighter, or is the Earth pulling the lighter towards it?
Well, under Newtonian, we're saying that the Earth is pulling the lighter towards it. Einstein looked at it a different way. That's fine. And
Right,
it's
so
actually
what's
a little bit more
actually
accurate
happening then,
and
Bob?
covers more things.
Bob, what's actually happening? Is it the bending of space-time, or is it actually being pulled?
The lighter's falling to the ground.
Is it
we have
because
two
it's being
different
pulled, or is it because the Earth is moving towards the lighter?
Kimo.
Mhm.
Einstein and Newton's are simply a description of a natural force of gravity.
We've got to
They
throw
both
one out.
describe it different ways.
Got to throw one of them
And
out.
I am only using Newtonian right now.
So we're
I'm
not
even
using
discussing
space-time.
Einsteinian.
So the
I'm
Earth,
not discussing it.
So the Earth is not moving towards the lighter.
I am not discussing Einsteinian gravity. I'm only discussing Newtonian gravity, unless you can show me there's a difference in the result. How does it
Told you,
change
the
how
Earth
fast it will?
is
Does it
moving-
change how fast the lighter will hit the ground?
Because
Yes
we
or
know
no?
how fast the Earth is moving towards the lighter.
Does it change the speed of the time it takes the lighter to hit the ground?
No, it's not going to change.
Yes
we
or no?
know how fast the Earth is moving.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, great. Then we're not discussing it in Einsteinian terms. We're discussing it in Newtonian terms because you have demonstrated that there is no difference between the two. Thank you.
Well, if you figure out the speed of the Earth, how fast it's moving, then you can figure out how fast it will reach the lighter. using Einstein's
A
equations.
different answer than Newton gives?
No, Newton said it's being pulled towards the center.
Will it give a different answer for that time than Newton gives?
It depends on what the size of the Earth is.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a bigger mass.
On the Earth, the Earth is one size. The lighter is one size. I drop it. Will Einstein or Newton tell me it'll hit the ground at a different time?
They'll explain it at different function.
I don't need to.
Yeah,
I said we're using Newtonian physics, period. That's it.
Yeah, Newtonian is not a force, Bob. That's your problem.
Newtonian is indeed a force, yes.
But it's not a real force, Bob.
Gravity.
I know you're struggling, but it's not an actual force.
Well, you can say I'm struggling, but I'm not really having any trouble with you.
So, well, who's correct? Is Einstein? Are you saying Einstein's incorrect?
I never said that. I said we're using Newtonian because that's the situation that we're in right now as we're dealing with Newtonian physics. I'm fine with that.
Was Einstein talking about a force with Newtonian in his model?
I don't know. Newton never mentioned Einstein.
And no, Einstein. When Einstein, he mentioned that there was a pulling force in his equation.
I'm not discussing Einsteinian gravity. I'm discussing Newtonian gravity. And
well, we're looking at, you're saying your lighter.
That's the appropriate thing to use.
You're saying that the lighter fell because of a reason. Not because of an equation, but because of a reason. Either a force, or it's because of bending of space-time.
There's a force acting on it under Newtonian physics, you betcha.
So what is that force?
That force would be gravity under Newtonian physics.
So you're saying the light was being pulled towards the center of mass?
Under Newtonian physics, yes. That's the way it's looked at.
So when the Earth is bending space around it, and things fall into that gravity
There's no bending of space. There's no bending of space in Newtonian physics. Thanks.
So there's no bending of space. That's not a real thing.
In Newtonian physics, no.
No, in general, is it a real thing?
Not in Newtonian physics, no. And we're.
I don't understand. Are we going by the pulling force or Einstein in gravity?
Which one is in Newtonian physics, Kimo?
Newtonian has a pulling force.
And that's what we're using.
Yes, but what about Einstein?
Einstein's not part of this conversation. We're talking about Newton.
No, we're talking about your lighter falling to the ground.
Under Newtonian physics, yes.
Which is a pulling force.
Yes, very good.
So when Einstein says the Earth is moving towards the lighter...
Einstein and Newton didn't know each other. Well, Newton didn't know Einstein. Einstein knew Newton.
So when Einstein revised Newton's work and said it's not a pulling force, was he wrong?
Doesn't have anything to do with the situation we're dealing with right now. We're using Newtonian physics.
But Einstein says that's wrong.
I don't care. I don't care what he says.
You don't care. Einstein says it's not a pulling force. It's now the bending of space-time.
I never said that. I said we're using Newtonian physics. And in Newtonian physics, it's a pulling force. And I'm quite happy dealing with that. Now, if you want to get on with the conversation, that's fine. If you want to continue this bullshit, I'm fine with that too. I'm just not going to respond to you anymore.
I'm just trying to figure out what the cause of the lighter dropping. You're saying there's an actual acceleration from an actual force. Einstein says that's not true. The Earth is moving towards the lighter, and it's catching up with the lighter. Because the Earth has bent the space-time around it. You're saying opposite, Bob. Dr. Bob. Bob the science guy. Why would you contradict Einstein?
It doesn't fit their narrative.
No, you're going to have to use all of Einstein. When Einstein said at speeds significantly small and masses significantly small to not cause great acceleration, Newtonian physics can be used without fear of error. So that's what Einstein said. So Einstein specifically said Newtonian physics is just fine if we're only dealing with things as small and as slow and as lumpy as the solar system at human scales. Unless you get to the speed of light or dealing with supermasses, don't worry about it. Einstein said that.
Good try, though, Kimo.
Citation, Larry.
Just look it up, man. It's
Just
called
look
the
it up.
citation. is
You don't
called
know
Google.
anything about Einstein. You're Newtonian gravity. According to you,
In this
Einstein
case-
is wrong. You just said.
No, I'm absolutely agreeing with Einstein because this is not a situation you need to do relativistic corrections on.
So if the pen or the lighter is falling because the Earth is moving toward it, where is the need for the pulling force? If we already have the cause of the lighter, the bending of space-time, the Earth is moving up to it, catching it up, why would we need the pulling force?
Let me know when you're getting back to Newton, okay?
I'm asking why we need Newton.
It's a very practical. It's a very practical means to look at situations like this that don't require relativistic corrections.
Yeah, but we want to work on the really is level. If there's not a real force creating a real acceleration,
That's a false argument. I'm not going to address it.
so it is a real force with a real acceleration.
So,
Underneath,
Kimo,
yes.
you've been told repeatedly that you don't need to consider Einstein on the human scale, and you keep bringing up Einstein. What the hell?
Look, Kimo, unless you want to do the math and show me that there's a difference, and I'm going to require that you show it's a difference within 5 decimal places, we're not going to discuss Einstein.
You know, I'm happy
So
with
I
that part.
show your work. Now either show your work or run along.
I'm happy with that because, like I said, I'm just clearing up with the globe earthers which gravity is their choice. Do they go with Newton or Einstein?
There is one gravity. There are 2 descriptions of that gravity. That is what we say.
You're going with the one that is not a real force or a real acceleration.
I'm going with the fact that there is one gravity and there are multiple ways to describe that gravity. The best right now is Einstein. The most practical is Newton. We're using Newton.
Yeah, but Newton's is not reality. There is no pulling force, Bob.
All right, you're done.
So as long as we don't have that pulling force, you shouldn't describe Newtonian gravity. That's the whole point. It doesn't have any correlation or representation in reality.
Since when has that mattered?
And that's why, Bob, we are the arbiters of science, education. Because if you're telling people, well, forget what Einstein said, go with Newtonian, you're going to confuse them. Because the experts say it's not a force.
Anybody here who actually knows anything about science confused about anything I said?
You're going with Newtonian, the pulling force. Current science says it's the bending of space-time. I think around 1915, 1920, they changed from Newtonian to Einstein.
No, they did not. They did not.
Wrote the want, apparently.
We use Newtonian to this day. Thank you.
For whatever reason, it doesn't make any sense.
Makes perfect sense to people that use it.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to you, Kimo, because basically you can't comprehend these things, but it does make perfect sense to everybody else.
Well, it would do, because neither of those can be demonstrated. They're both made up. But if you're going to go with the globe current science, you would have to go with Einstein as the cause to the effect.
Both are highly accurate.
When I drop a
observations,
when I drop a pen,
they're highly accurate. They're highly accurate, Kimo. So you can
what's
wave your
happening when
arms
I
around
drop
and
a
pretend
pen?
they're not, but they're highly accurate.
Yes, but when I drop an object, what happens? Is it being pulled towards the center?
And here's the problem. Here's the problem, Kimo. We were discussing a very specific thing, the effect of work on entropy in the atmosphere. And you're trying to segue it into a discussion between Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity, neither one of which you accept, to just kill time and avoid the actual subject. Now, what is the effect of work on the atmosphere, Kimo?
Well, that was
specifically.
That's how it began. Yeah, you would need gravity.
That's how we're finishing it now, too. What is the effect of work on the
You need a force.
atmosphere.
You need a force, like you said.
We have a force. What
there
is
you
the
go.
effect
That's
of
how
work?
we ended up in a circle. You have no force.
What is the effect of work on the atmosphere? Is a pressure gradient an example of work being performed on a pressure gradient or on an atmosphere, on a mass of gas?
You need a force, Bob, to have work.
Has mass been displaced in the pressure gradient?
Where does the pressure come from?
No. Yes or no?
There isn't a pressure gradient.
There is a pressure gradient. It's measurable.
Where does
You're
the pressure come
simply
from?
denying reality along with many other things like
Where
the
does
shape
the
of the
pressure
earth.
come from then?
We measure a pressure gradient. You have to deal with that. Now, in order to have a pressure gradient, mass must be moved by the application of a force. The fact that there is a pressure gradient confirms and mandates that a force is acting on the atmosphere.
Yeah, so when you explain what that force is, then you might have a pressure gradient.
I don't need to. I have a pressure gradient. That's all I need.
Without a force.
The fact that there is a pressure gradient mandates a force. It's a necessary antecedent.
Again, your current science says gravity is not a force.
My current altimeter says that we have a pressure gradient, so deal with it.
I am dealing with it. The current science, Bob.
The current science says there's pressure gradient.
But you need a force.
Under
The bending of space-time produces an apparent force. And see that word? Apparent force? That's a force. An apparent force is a force, Kimo. So therefore you've got a force.
But then the gas is moving in all directions.
I'm on my computer.
Apparent forces are forces.
Oh, let's bring in
Apparent forces are
Globe
forces.
Skeptic now anyway. You want to come back, Globe?
Yeah, I'll join the conversation. I'm going to try not to interrupt anybody. So.
No, go for it. Jump in.
Well, he was talking, so I'm going to let him finish at least.
I am finished. We have a pressure gradient that mandates that there's a force acting on the mass of the atmosphere, and that is how we have an atmospheric pressure gradient, and that goes down to zero, essentially.
Alrighty. Okay, so I heard your conversation in the chatterbox, and you got absolutely flat smacked last night about this as well. You were trying to say that there couldn't be. You were trying to say that there couldn't be a pressure gradient with a container, and they basically flat smacked you and said that there could be a pressure gradient with a container. So the force is actually not caused from your gravity; it's caused from the container.
No, it's not. The pressure gradient is not caused by a container unless there's a force acting on it. And the fact that there is a pressure gradient in a container mandates that there's a force acting on it.
Flat smacking carries a big stick.
Flat smacking is all sail, no ballast, is what it is.
Affirmative.
They like to sit down and shout and scream and say, "Hey, I won." It's basically the pigeons playing chess syndrome.
You got to wipe it off.
In a container with no gravity, there would be no pressure gradient.